So this is very interesting because it's one of the only completely standing Roman gates in the world.
It is so bad. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ride the Bean. Today we are in Torino, or Turin, and we figured we would do a little bit of a tour of the city. We have never been here before. We really have no idea what to do, but we have a historian with us, so maybe we can learn something. But first, we are in Italy, the home place of espresso. So, of course, we need to start the day with the coffee. You probably know my opinion on traditional Italian coffee. It's shit. But I think I found a place that actually has some decent coffee. So, fingers crossed. I'm curious. Let's test Italian coffee. This actually looks like a pretty decent place. Looks like they have a decent espresso machine, so I have high hopes. This is really cool. They have actually origins, different types of beans. Oh, they have a coffee lab. They're testing out different espressos and different recipes and doing trainings. That's so cool. Seems like a pretty cool place. What was the name of it?
Costa d'Oro.
Costa d'Oro. Oh, beautiful.
Okay. Thanks.
This looks actually pretty decent. A bit different than I expected. This is the V60, just in a cup. Normally you get it served in a carafe and you actually pour it yourself.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
Then we have a traditional espresso and a Rwandan specialty espresso. So let's start with the traditional espresso. It smells, well, not as dark as I sort of expected, but very dark. Well, it's actually not too bad.
Yeah?
It's much better than I expected. It's round and it's balanced. It's just way too dark.
Is it Italian style?
Yeah, so this is the traditional espresso that they normally serve.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's okay. You also are a coffee shop lover.
Yes, I don't know as much as you, but
You spend a lot of time in coffee shops.
I
A lot of
do,
time in
yes.
coffee shops. What do you normally drink?
well, usually I drink cappuccinos. But now, since I get to know more about coffee, I try to taste different things. So
Now let's try the Rwandan espresso.
ah,
That's actually a pretty nice coffee. Still way too dark, but really nice.
also a good surprise then.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. Huh. I was 100% sure I would not find good coffee here. But it's balanced. It's round. A lot of the really nice flavors are gone because it's too dark. It's roasted away, but the balance is very nice. The balance of sweetness and bitterness and acidity is very pleasant. And then, of course, the V60.
In a mug.
Yeah, this is like black coffee. It smells nice. So this is the same coffee as the espresso. That's a bit boring. It's too much water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good extraction. It's just
It smells like tea.
tastes watery and yeah, that's not a very good
like
coffee.
tea.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, that's boring.
there's no dynamic range. It tastes flat. The espresso was good, but the black coffee was not too good.
And the cappuccino.
And then, of course, it is morning. I guess mornings are the only time you're allowed to drink cappuccinos in Italy. The latte art was nice with the swan. That's okay.
Just okay.
It's a very milky cappuccino.
Oh no.
Oh, This was actually a pleasant. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Which one is the best?
I think the Rwandan espresso was definitely the best.
Yeah.
That's a good start to the day. Some good coffee.
We should try another one.
We should try another
To
one.
make sure that you really like Italian coffee.
We found one other coffee shop that seems to have pretty decent coffee. So maybe today we finish the day at the second coffee shop.
Yeah.
But now I think let's explore the city for a little bit. This Torino is a very interesting city, I hear. It has a long history, but I don't really know anything about it. So where should we start?
So we'll start in chronological order. So we'll start by looking at the Roman remains of the city to understand exactly where it comes from.
When was the city founded? You know?
It was founded in the 1st century BC by the Romans. Before that, you had Celtic people, Alpine people living here, and it's really hard to know exactly how long they were here. But what we know for sure is that we have the Roman remains from the 1st century that helps us understand the start of the city.
So the first stop is what?
It's called Porta Palatino, and it used to be the gate, the entrance, the north entrance of the city.
So the first stop on the tour is the ancient Roman gate. Really cool. When was this built?
So we think that this was built around the 1st century BC, which would be the start of the Roman presence in the city. So this is very interesting because it's one of the only completely standing Roman gates in the world, and this one is very well preserved. As you can see, it is a mix of different architectures because it was modified throughout history. So what is originally Roman is the middle door and the right tower. Of course, during the medieval time they improved it, so it's now mixed. And the left tower, however, was completely new, completely added in medieval time. And the little castle-like top was added in 1400, so kind of the start of the modern period, late medieval time, early modern. So this is really a patchwork of different architectures that reflect the history of the city. Here you can see also, since this was the north entrance to the city when the Roman colonized it, then you also have the city wall that you can still see some part of it around it, like here.
This is so cool. This thing was built in the 1st century BC.
Yes.
So that's 2,100 years ago, more or less.
Yes. And then a few centuries afterwards, so more exactly in the 1st century AD, the city sustained a siege, was under siege, and completely destroyed by Hannibal. You know, when he crossed the Alps with his elephants, then they arrived here and they destroyed the city as part of his campaign. But the Romans rebuilt it afterwards. But that's an interesting fact about the city.
So what's next on the tour?
So next actually is not far away because, well, the historical highlights of this city are kind of Roman times and then after late medieval modern times. So we jump into the 15th century, 15th, 16th century with our next interesting building that tells us a bit about the history of the city, which is right there. It's a cathedral. So at first you had this bell tower from the 15th century as well, but it was there first because in the city you need a bell. And later, like 20 years later, they built this cathedral, which is now a landmark of the city, and it was the place where the Archbishop of Turin stayed. So you had an important Roman Catholic presence here, and this was where the bishop stayed. So this is modern architecture.
What do you mean, modern times?
So in history, modern time doesn't mean like now. Modern time is after medieval time, so it's kind of like 16th century. So 15th century is like late medieval time, and then you have early modern time, which is the century with all the famous explorers, etc. It starts in the 16th century.
Ah.
And so yeah, this is more like a late medieval modern time. So
I see.
when the Christian presence was getting stronger here. So we have the cathedral behind us, and now we're moving on to the royal palace, which is just a few meters away from it. And for us, that's a jump in time of about 100 years, another important period for the city, the 16th century.
And here we have some modern art in front of.
Maybe that's an homage to Hannibal. Who knows?
Yeah,
No?
Hannibal's elephant, and a boy reading stories for the elephants.
Yeah. So this should be the royal palace. So for the, well, in the 16th century, you had like an aristocratic family ruling over the region. It's the House of Savoy. So the most important figure from this house for the city was Emmanuel II, who was the Duke of Savoy, and you can find statues of him all over the city.
The House of Savoy, they ruled this region and also a region in France.
Yes, well, Savoy is like, you might know it, it's a region, like an alpine region. So I think you have a little bit of it in France, in Switzerland, but it's kind of this area. It's not just Italy, because the borders changed anyway.
All right. So all of these royal palaces and everything is museums today.
Yeah, they all use them as museums, yeah.
I really like their museums in Italy.
That's nice.
We have one more stop.
Yes, now we end the tour with a 19th century building, which is very important for the city. It's like a symbol of the city. Apparently, you even have it on the €2 cent coins. So that's how
cool.
symbolic it is. But here we're walking past another building. Pretty nice. There was another palace for a prince.
There's a strange facade on this building. It's like trippy.
Yeah. You see, it's Palazzo Carignano. Carignano is the prince in question.
Oh, this is cool. You can actually go in.
Ooh, that looks
Wow.
amazing, actually.
This is really cool. Wow. These princes and kings and whatever, dukes,
Dukes, yeah.
they liked showing their wealth.
Yeah. Here is something interesting. It says that here, the first, from my understanding of Italian, the first Italian parliament, when Italy was united as the first time for a whole country, was held here or created here or something like this, and in 1861.
So Italy is just 150 years old.
As a whole united country, yes. So that's why when you unite a country, the first time you have a parliament is an important symbol of unity. It's what I was teaching my students when I talked about the unification of Ireland.
All right.
Like when they had their parliament, you know, it was like very symbolic.
Let me get this straight again. You're a language and history teacher, but
Yes.
focused on British history.
Yes, so Ireland is part of the British Isles.
Yeah.
So I teach Irish history.
And you have a bachelor's degree and working on a PhD.
And the master degrees in this, yeah.
Oh, a
And I'm
master's
working-
degree
Yeah,
in,
and I'm working on a PhD in this, yes. Oh, look, National Library.
That's your favorite.
Yes, my living environment.
This is the last place.
Yeah, that's the last place I'm taking you.
What the hell is this?
That's we end up with one of the most impressive buildings of the city. So here you have, well, it's called Mole Antonelliana. Well, that's the name of the architect, and Mole means large, impressive building.
Okay.
But here
Oh.
it is, and it is very impressive indeed.
Yes. What the fuck?
So
is
that's
this?
a 19th century building, and that used to be a synagogue.
A synagogue.
Yes.
This is like a Jewish temple
Yes.
kind of thing.
And then it became a museum. So now it's a museum for the Italian cinema. So that must be really interesting, actually. But
Oh,
it's
really?
about €40 to go inside.
Cinema museum.
Museum of Italian Cinema. That must be cool. But yeah, beautiful.
How tall is
architecture.
this?
Well, very tall. Apparently one of the tallest museum there is. But it's mostly a spire. But it looks
Yeah.
really cool.
That's really cool. So that was it?
Yes, that was it.
That was interesting. Thank you so much for the tour.
Thank you.
I learned a lot. I hope you guys did too. Now, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to finish the tour in the second coffee shop that I found that seems decent. So I feel like a coffee again.
Yes.
How about you?
It's needed, yes.
So let's have one more coffee and then call it a day. Look at all these cute dogs. Cool. I think this is the coffee shop.
Laboratorio de Café.
I'm too wide.
Be careful.
It's a bit of a struggle to get in here. But this place has some really, really nice coffees. This place is called the Orso Laboratorio Cafe. And is making some espressos and a hand brew for me. And compared to what we had this morning, this looks like a much, much better shop. So my expectations is a lot higher here. Now I'm curious. And they make their own juice as well. Let's try the juice first. Oh damn, that's strawberry. Oh, that's really good. Oh, thank you so much. So here we have AeroPress from Rwanda. This is more like it. Like this morning I ordered a V60 and I just got it in a mug. This is normally how you get served hand brews. And this looks a lot lighter than this morning. Smells really like fresh. It's lighter than this morning, but still too dark. We are in Italy. It's good. It's a bit flat. Very sweet, very fruity. But there's no acid in it, so it's a bit flat. Oh, a little bit disappointing, but better than I expected this morning. I never thought I would find coffee this good here.
So you can recognize the Italian style in it.
Yeah, well, this is not really an Italian style.
Yeah.
Italians don't make black coffee. They just make espresso, normally. Or they make black coffee in Bialetti pots. No, but there's like gooseberry and like stone fruits flavors. Nice.
Is a blend.
Oh yeah? This is the traditional
Yeah.
espresso? Nice. Okay, so of course I had to try the traditional Italian espresso again to compare it. Oh, that stinks. That's way too dark. Oh, that's bitter. Oh, that's not good. That was not good at all.
Brazilian.
That was a blend,
Okay.
and now we have a Brazilian. This is a natural espresso. It smells also too dark, but a lot sweeter. This is much better.
Oh, that's good at least. And this one or the one from this morning?
The one from this morning was more balanced and more like interesting.
Yes.
This is just very sweet, but it's way too dark.
Yeah.
But this I can drink. Like, I wouldn't complain about this. I'm pleasantly surprised because I didn't think I would find drinkable coffee at all.
Yeah.
But this is actually drinkable.
You thought they would be gross.
Yeah, I thought it would be terrible.
Yeah.
But today has been a fun day. I hope you guys have enjoyed following us along and learned a little bit from our history guide. If you did, give me a thumbs up and click subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see what we end up doing next. I know we said the plan was to go to Verona and stay there for a few days and explore the region. But we can't find any place that is reasonably priced to stay.
So expensive.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're looking at different options. We're not really sure what we're doing next, but we're heading towards Austria, and then we'll see which route we take and what we end up doing.
Exactly.
We don't really know at the moment. We're going to look at it tonight. But anyway, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Oh, you can keep them.
Oh, when it cools down,
Yeah, this is even worse.
it's so bitter. It is so bad. Like the coffee in Morocco was better than this. Italians need to get it together. This is so good. This messes up your stomach.
You're going
Like
to
this
get
is
so
terrible.
paid for this. Yes, this is texture.